Hey everybody, this is Rykard here again, and welcome to another narrated Pokemon Wi-Fi battle. Today's battle is an underused match against an opponent by the name of MrCashSplash, and this is actually the second of two battles I had against this opponent, the first of which being an OU match that I uploaded earlier last week, so in case you missed that, it might be something worth checking out after this battle is over. But as far as my team in this battle is concerned, I did bring my Scarf Froslass, which I love using so much, a offensive Zapdos, a pressure stalling defensive Suicune along with a defensive Umbreon, a Life Orb Mienshao, and also a stealth rocking defensive Registeel. And overall, I think all these Pokemon work very well together and have some pretty unique things going for them. As far as my opponent's team is concerned, though, he did bring two very big threats in the form of Victini and Darmanitan, and also Crobat could be very threatening as well due to its blazing fast speed and powerful Brave Birds. But because all three of these Pokemon are weak to Stealth Rock, it was also very smart of my opponent to bring a Rapid Spinner in the form of Blastoise. This is actually a very unique Blastoise as well, along with a Spiker in the form of Roserade and a Mew which could hold a variety of different sets. But also to point out, this battle did take place before Froslass was moved up to Borderline, so it is now unable to be used in UU for some stupid reasons that people feel the need to complain about. But either way, I just wanted to point that out before this begins. But let's just jump into it right now. So to start things off, I'm going to lead off with my Froslass as my opponent leads off with his Victini. Now, even though I am faster because I am Choice Scarfed, and I do have a super effective Shadow Ball, I know it will not kill a Victini at this health, so I do switch out to my Suicune, predicting the Fire move to obviously save my Froslass, but my opponent makes a very good play going for the U-turn right here, to obviously scout first turn. Now, judging by how much damage that did, I know immediately that this is actually a banded Victini, which is something my team is actually not particularly worried about just because I do have two Pokemon to outspeed this Victini and potentially KO it. But it is U-turn out into his Roserade, and me, finding the least important thing on my team, decide to go out to my Registeel to get put to sleep. He instead goes for the Spikes, which shows me that he cannot actually have Sleep Powder, so I just take this opportunity to set up a layer of Stealth Rock as he goes for his second layer of Spikes. And me kind of hoping he would stay in for a third layer, I decided to go for the Ice Punch on the following turn. This is not a move that Registeels typically pack, but it worked very well in this situation. However, he does switch out into his Blastoise, which is obviously going to take nothing from that Ice Punch, and also be able to Rapid Spin my rocks away on the next turn. My opponent, however, predicts me to switch out into my Froslass and makes a very cool play right here going for the Foresight, which is a move that I have not seen on a Blastoise ever, but it allows them to Rapid Spin on Ghost types, which is actually very cool. But I took a more offensive approach going out into my Zapdos, and then knowing he would switch back into his Roserade right here, I actually go for the Heat Wave, which turns out to be a very solid prediction because it catches this Roserade on the switch and falls just short of KOing it. But at this range, anything is going to be able to take out this Roserade, so I decided to just go for a Thunderbolt in case he did switch out, predicting me to just go for another Heat Wave and resist that. But as this Roserade goes down, my opponent decides to send in his Mew, which I thought was going to be a specially defensive variant since that is typically a type of Mew that I have run into in the past. However, this is actually a Nasty Plot Mew, which you're going to see in a second, which turns out to be very threatening to this Umbreon. Now, Umbreon, being the awesome Pokemon that it is able to take a +2 Aura Sphere from a Mew, which just kind of shows how bulky this Pokemon is. But I was just not expecting the Nasty Plot set at all in that situation, considering the fact that this is actually a speed tie between Mew and Zapdos. But I am actually able to live the Aura Sphere with 6 HP, go for the Foul Play, which is going to do a very solid chunk to this Mew, just fall short of taking it out, which is kind of a theme, I guess, of this battle so far. But I can't leave anything else in to take an Aura Sphere, so I just have to let my Umbreon die right here, which is very unfortunate, but I could easily revenge kill it with a couple of different Pokemon in this situation. I choose to go into my Mienshao and just U-turn in case he might have switched out. Could went for the Fake Out as well, but I decided that U-turn would be the best option. It would kill it either way, and also I could just switch out into something else that I felt would be more appropriate to take on the rest of his team, which in this situation is going to be my Suicune. Now, he does go out into his Blastoise right here, which I actually was not 100% expecting him to have Roar due to the fact that he had Foresight. So the fact that he actually goes for Roar right here kind of surprised me a bit because I thought he was either going to have Ice Beam or Toxic along with Scald and Rapid Spin, but he does have that, which obviously is going to roar my Suicune right out of its sub. This is a Toxic Stalling variant, so if he did not have that, I could have easily Toxic Stalled this Blastoise all day. But he actually roars me out into my Froslass, which is probably the best thing to roar me out. 1, because I have the super effective Thunderbolt, 2, because I can take Scalds fairly well, as you can see right there, and also 3, because he cannot Rapid Spin on me. So this was actually the best switch for me, and now that his Blastoise has taken significant damage, he really can't switch it out at this point because anything else that he brings in would be 2-hit KO'd by this Froslass, especially since I'm Scarfed, so I would outspeed everything else on his team. But he goes into his Darmanitan right here, and I don't really have much to take a hit from this thing, at least on the switch. So I decided to go out into my Registeel right here to obviously get as much recoil on this Flare Blitz as possible. As you're going to see, as this cleanly takes out my Registeel, he's actually going to be sent to below half HP, which means that if he switches this Darmanitan out, it can only switch in one more time before it is KO'd by Stealth Rock, which is very important. But I decided to go into my Suicune here, hoping that I can take a Flare Blitz from this thing. So first turn, I actually Protect to gain a little bit of leftovers recovery, and as you see right here, I gained 25 HP from that Protect with the leftovers. He goes for the Flare Blitz on the following turn, and it leaves me with 21. So that Protect 100% mattered, and I was so happy that I went for that right there, because that's going to allow me to live this Flare Blitz and then easily KO this Darmanitan with Scald. Now he is on the following turn going to bring in his Crobat, as you see right here, which I could Protect to potentially try and live a hit from this thing, but I didn't want to in case of it being a nasty plot variant. You don't see that too often, but it was a thought that crossed my mind, so I did just let it stay in, went for a Scald to potentially hurt this Crobat on the or if it did go for a set of move or something. But he just goes for a U-turn, takes out my Suicune, and as he U-turns out in his Victini, decide to go out into my Mienshao. First I go for the Fake Out to get some solid damage, and then I go for the Stone Edge, hoping it would kill, but no, it doesn't because I miss, which is very unfortunate. But he's easily able to KO me with the Zen Headbutt on the following turn. But this isn't too big of a deal because I said I do have two things on my team to outspeed this Victini, the other one being this Scarfed Froslass, and as I said before, it would not KO from 100%, but at 50% HP, this Shadow Ball is easily going to be able to take out this Victini, which is very important because that is a huge threat on my team that is now taken down. He now brings in his Crobat. It is the only remaining Pokemon left on his team, and I actually have two Pokemon to easily handle this. I have my Zapdos, which is obviously going to pack a super effective electric move, and my Froslass, which will outspeed this Crobat and also pack a super effective ice move. So rather than risk my Froslass just dying right there, I decided to switch out into my Zapdos right here. I knew I could take a Brave Bird or a U-turn. Crobat is not known for packing too many coverage moves, so I'm easily able to take that Brave Bird right there and KO it on the following turn with a Thunderbolt. So that was it for this battle, everyone, and I thought that was a pretty fun one. Thank you, MrCashSplash, obviously, for agreeing to have two battles with me. Both of them were obviously very cool, and now we're 1-1, so we have to settle this tie at some point, I guess. But either way, that is it for this battle, everyone, so I hope you all enjoyed, and I would also like to take this opportunity to remind you all that my tournament, the Master of them All Kanto Champion Tournament, is going to be still held on Saturday. Registration starts at 10 o'clock with the tournament actually starting at noon EST, which is Eastern Standard Time, so I hope you all at least participate or check it out if you have some free time on Saturday. I will be live streaming this on my Twitch channel, and also for those of you participating in the tournament, I do plan on streaming tomorrow, which is obviously Thursday the 22nd, so if you want to bring those teams, test them out against me, test them out against other people on the stream, that'll be a very cool thing for all of us to get some practice time in, and that will obviously allow you to know possibly what you need to adjust for purposes of potentially winning the tournament on Saturday. But that is all the information I have for you today and this video, so thank you everybody for watching. As always, take care, goodbye, and I will see you all next time.